Hey guys, and welcome to the groundbreaking video of live Russian learning tips. Today we will be talking about studying grammar, and as you see, I'm dressed up as if it was a special occasion, which it is, because today I'm telling you that you don't need to study grammar. What? I mean, you don't need to study it in the very beginning of your learning process. You should start from learning speaking patterns. What do I mean? I mean that if you start studying any language, you come across language patterns. For example, when talking about yourself, we talk about our age. Yeah? In Russian it would be «Мне 33 года». Yeah? In English it's «I'm 33», and in French, for example, it's «J'ai 33 ans». All these structures are different. In English we basically say «Я есть», yeah, this age. In French we say «I have this age», and in Russian we say «to me this age». So they are all different, but we are not asking ourselves, why is it like this? It's just the language patterns that are used in a certain language, and we need to learn them by heart without giving it much of a thought. Why is it this way? It's just this way. Enjoy learning your language and just learn the patterns. For example, I put these patterns with «мне» for the Russian language. You may learn from the very beginning of your studies. For example, talking about your age, you use «мне» plus your age. Yeah. When you say that you need to do something, you should say «мне» plus «нужно», need, and then you add a verb in infinitive. «Мне нужно работать», I need to work. «Мне нужно идти», I need to go. Or, for example, if you want to say that it's time for you to do something, you can use «мне пора», it's time for me to do something. «Мне пора» plus infinitive. «Мне пора работать», it's time for me to work. «Мне пора изучать русский язык», it's time for me to learn the Russian language. You can talk about how you feel, yeah, by using «мне» plus adverbs. «Мне холодно», I'm cold. «Мне трудно», it's difficult for me. «Мне непонятно», it's not clear for me, yeah? I don't understand, but we have this construction. «Мне непонятно», yeah? It's not understandable to me. Or you can say that you like something by «мне нравится» plus a noun or plus a verb. You can say «мне нравится работать», I like to work, or «мне нравится моя работа», I like my work. You see, these kind of patterns, if you learn them, you will be fluent in the language without thinking about any grammar, almost without thinking. But the question is, how to learn, yeah? How can we come across all these patterns? Russian grammar is such pain in the arse, I'm sure you all would agree with me. And there are these three whales that look scary, yeah, whales of the Russian grammar, which are cases, motion verbs, and verb aspects. CMA, I called them right now. It's almost CIA. Well, what can we do with them? Instead of jumping into them, trying to get scared, you should learn them gradually. What do I mean by this? So, let's take cases as an example. First, what you do is trying to understand the idea of cases. Why on earth would we use them in the Russian language? Yeah, of course there is a reason. So try to watch videos which give you overall impression about the cases. I will put these videos in the video description. And when you get the idea, just try noticing them. That, for example, nouns change when they take a special position in a sentence, when are used in special situations. For example, when we are talking about where, где, yeah, we would use the prepositional case with the preposition в or на. Я живу в Москве. I live in Moscow. We don't say я живу в Москва, yeah. We change the ending a to е. Or я работаю в банке. Again, где? Where? Where do you work? Я работаю в банке. Noticing these patterns and having already in your head the general idea of cases, it would seem more logical than just trying to memorize all the endings, trying to memorize all the prepositions that go with a certain case. This wouldn't work for you. Try to do it gradually. As soon as you ask yourself, oh, why is it like this? You may look it up. You may try to find some examples. The same works with motion verbs and verb aspects. Don't try to, for example, verb aspects, to memorize all the rules when we use this or that aspect. Just see it in examples, see it in text, and that's what I'm going to talk about. The third tip is actually coming up with your own system. To help you to do it, I will tell you about some people who have been learning languages for a long time or just starting learning the Russian language. What are they doing to maintain their learning process? Yeah, the first person I would want to talk about is Steve Kaufmann. He's a polyglot and he has his own application to learn languages that's called Link, and he is a huge fan of exposure to a language and language input. It means that before actually studying any language, you need to be exposed to it by listening. That's why I wrote here the Pimsleur course, because it's free. If you are a beginner, you may start by listening to the Pimsleur course, but listening attentively, yeah? As we know, we should actively learn a language, not passively. As one guy said, language can never be taught, it can be just learned. And that's true. You need to make efforts, but not over your limits and using the right concept. So, Steve Kaufmann thinks that being exposed to a language, it means listening as much as you can, but actively when you can, for example, listen, follow along the text, clicking on words that you don't know. That's what he offers in his application, which is not free. You have a free part, but actually to have all the functions you need to pay. But a lot of people say that this application works well. You may use the free ones like Duolingo, Memrize. Yeah, they are free. Second thing I wanted to talk about is a YouTube channel which is called Language Boost. There are two guys who are polyglots, both of them. It's Jean and Lucas, and they have their own method of using let's say the most used words of a language, but in structures already, let's say in patterns. Yeah, and what you do is grammar drills. You are practicing, I will give a link in the description of this video, one of their grammar drills in Russian. It's really interesting. This is their way. Also, I wanted to tell you about the YouTube channel Amerikan Studying Russian. It's my subscriber and my friend Craig. Hi, Craig, who is learning the Russian language, and he has also his own system how to maintain his learning. He's trying to come up with some ideas of practicing every case. As we remember, case is such a pain, yeah, cases in general. So he's practicing, he's making tables. For example, accusative case, he's practicing outside. I will give you the video description, the link in the video description again. And the last guy I wanted to talk about is Angelos. He is Greek, and he also has his very own system of learning, which is going out there, talking to people, absorbing knowledge, absorbing the language patterns, again, I'm sure. And he had this idea of grammar, I would say bags, because I can't pronounce this word. It either sounds like something sucks or it sounds like sex, so I can't. Grammar bags, let's say. And what he offers is you should put words with prepositions that are used in the same situation to the same bag, let's say. For example, я иду, it's always к врачу, к другу, к соседу. I'm going to a doctor, to a friend, to a neighbor. We put the preposition ka here and all these words. So when we are talking about a person, we notice that all these guys are people. We use k. And the ending changes into u. We are even not thinking what case it is. If we are interested, we can look it up. Like we look up a table with learnings, with endings, prepositions, and we know that it's a dative case. But in the case of going somewhere, it would be на работу, на почту, на фабрику. Working this way helps you not only to analyze all the materials you are exposed to, but also to order them, to structure them in your head, which helps you to memorize in the very end, because this is an active learning. It's not passively listening to some podcast or watching a movie. This is a real active work which helps you to create some structure in your head. And I'm moving on to the fourth tip, which is practicing every day. What do I mean by this? I don't mean that you have to practice for 2 hours every day. No. If you have a teacher or you are taking Russian courses, let's say once a week for 2 hours. That's nice, but if you don't practice every day at least for 15 minutes, these 2 hours will mean nothing to you, because in learning a language, and a lot of people talk about it, I watched a video of Language Boost. Jean was talking about it, that every day you have to actively practice a language. You may do it, for example, with this link. You are listening to a podcast for 5 minutes, you are following along, reading along, you press on the words you don't know. Or you can do it with Duolingo or Memrize, or I've heard that a really good one is Linguist. It's a really good application which helps a lot of people to learn foreign languages. Or you just watch a slow Russian video with subtitles. You are trying to read out loud, to repeat after a person who is making these videos. But the fact is that you have to practice every day, and that's the key. So I hope that from now on you will not be too much concentrated on grammar. You'll start noticing grammar patterns in a language. You will try to learn gradually. I mean, before you have a question, why is it this word here and not that one? Or you shouldn't read about this in grammar books. When you have this kind of question, you just look it up on YouTube, and there are a lot of videos about the difference between, for example, сейчас and теперь. When you really ask yourself, why is it like this? Why can't I say сейчас? Why would I should say теперь? So look it up, and it will be easier for you to keep it in your mind for future. So we'll meet each other in live Russian learning tips. See you!